President Trump on Sunday named new lawyers for his impeachment defense team. The 5 previous lawyers departed due to the former president's desire to focus on his election fraud claims rather than the constitutionality of convicting a former president. This is USA Radio News.
Rockstar Radio. Did you know this station, this network, is looking for their next rockstar broadcaster? That's right, we are. And it could be you. It could be you interviewing the guests, talking to the newsmakers right in the middle of everything. Have you ever dreamed of being a rockstar show host? Now could be your chance. Together with this station, we'll help you with everything you need. The studios, the equipment, your own producer, a co-host if you'd like, and so much more. Broadcasting is changing. There's never been a need for fresh voices and unique opinions like there is right now. You can do this. Our professional team will guide you every step of the way. Sound effects, show content, building your social network media, and everything you need to be the next rockstar broadcaster. Get all the details. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today to get started with your own show. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Don't wait. You could be the next voice for America. Email bill@rockstar.today.
Thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Buying and selling? Then you know about OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's internet marketplace. But there's something you might not know. I'm Michael Warren, president of USA for Sale. We created Ocala for Sale in 1998 with a passion to connect buyers and sellers and to help local businesses reach shoppers online. On Ocala for Sale, you're just a click away from thousands of deals for real estate, rentals, cars, furniture, appliances, horses, pets, and more. Looking for a job? Our Help Wanted section is booming. Shopping the villages and beyond? Now you'll find great deals on villages for sale, as well as our new statewide classified, Florida for Sale. Log on today and post your free classified. You'll reach thousands of shoppers who check our listings every day. Are you a business looking to get a corner on the internet marketplace? USA for Sale can help you reach your target audience in Ocala, the villages, and statewide. There's no better place to reach shoppers than right where they shop. Let us show you how. Learn more by calling 352-629-1663 or visit us online at usaforsale.com.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity, and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 9:30 to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
It's time for the Camellia Show. The best deals of the year are at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. What's more, you can get your own famous Bob Wine's heirloom camellias starting at just $12.99 in dozens of colors to choose from. By all means, check out the super deal on citrus trees. Bob has lemon, lime, tangerine, orange, tangelo, grapefruit, kumquat, and more. Pick your favorite Bob's super low price and then get a second one for half price. Looking for color? Bob has flowering annuals, just $1.99, or a huge flat of 18 for just $19.99. Inside their greenhouse, check out the indoor foliage, 50% off. Plus all statuary, fountains, and pottery are buy one, get one for half price. Come on out to the Camellia Show, but by all means, bring your walking shoes. We know you'll love it. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, daily till 4 on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, the same blooming place since 1952.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named, the man, the myth, The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Already halfway through the show. It just feels like the show goes so quick. So quick. Hey, how's your hearing?
Oh, I'm here. Hey, good morning, Tom.
Is your hearing good, Joe?
Huh?
Yeah, good, exactly. I told Sonda he didn't have to worry about us making fun of you on the air. You don't hear it, but
Oh, I hear it all the time.
no, we didn't say anything derogatory as far as you know.
As far as I know.
As far as you know.
Yeah, because I
mean,
can't hear out there, so I wouldn't take it in here. Just on the radio.
You were in the Navy, a lot of guns going off around you and everything. Probably hurt your hearing, so,
Thank goodness our guns did not go off that much. I was on an aircraft carrier. If our guns went off, that means that aircraft was too dang close.
Yeah.
But we did have
Now, my understanding is, and I could be
an
wrong
attack
about
on
this.
us. But
Now, because you were a veteran that served your country proudly. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. Thank you for your
My
support.
understanding is that you were a pretty good cook.
Pretty good. I like to cook.
Was that what you did on the ship, or did you do radio
cooked.
on the ship?
Yes, both. I did.
You did both. You were entertainment and
I fed you.
and you were entertainment and you made people sick. Okay.
Yeah. I cooked for 12 hours and 4 hours on radio.
So
that was my 16-hour day.
You entertained them with the food and you made them sick with the radio.
Yes. Either way you want to look at it.
Seems about right.
I picked on everybody. I picked on the MPs. I picked on the Marines. I picked on everybody, and everybody laughed and had a good time. I was like Robin Williams.
Right.
Good Morning Vietnam. That was me.
Adrian, what was his name? Adrian.
Barbeau?
No. The guy that was Adrian Konauer. That was him.
Sorry.
That was the character Robin Williams played. That was the actual airman that was on the radio.
Oh, that did. He
Adrian
copied.
Konauer.
Well, he didn't copy, that's for sure.
No, but that was the guy who they were depicting in the movie.
He was
Adrian Konauer.
He was on land.
Right.
And
he was in Asia doing the show.
Yeah. The thing is, with that radio station, they're on land. I visited one in the Philippines that was set up. And they're on land, so they weren't floating or anything. But we used the same records.
Right.
And I have two of those sitting on my wall from way back. One of our listeners gave them to me. And brand new. They've been in storage for 50 years, 40 years, whatever. And I walked in there, and they thought I was one of a listener. And I said, hey, I'd like to see. Well, do you know? So they try to trick me, and they says, well, do you know what we're up to? And I said, yeah, you're up to P4, blah, 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 whatever it was, the numbers. He looked at me, and he realized that I was doing Armed Forces Radio and Television, because you wouldn't know that unless you were in it. Right. And then he gave me a quick little tour of the space,
Yeah.
But they're very close-knit.
Territorial.
Very territorial, yeah. Right. It's like, I'm on a ship doing it. I'm not after your job here, kind of thing.
Now, what aircraft carrier were you assigned to?
The USS Constellation.
Oh, that.
Otherwise, it's short. Everybody knows it as a Connie.
Right.
And of course, it's decommissioned and dismantled. Most of it.
Didn't you have 4,000 crew members?
5,000.
5,000. I knew it was 5,000.
Yeah, and it depends if you go at 12-hour shifts in the morning. You go 7 to 7, or at night 7 to 7, and every time you go into port, when you come out of port, you switch.
Right.
So when you're in a port, and if you're working 7 to 7, 7 to 8 at 7P, when you go back out, you're 7P to
7A.
Yeah, 7A. So you know what's coming up, so you're not surprised by it, And most of the time it was like 3,000 men daytime, 2,000 at night. Mm-hmm. That's to keep the ship running.
It's a working city, is what it is.
Oh yeah, barber shops. They had 7-Elevens.
Right.
Convenience stores. It didn't say
say
7-Eleven, and each air wing was detached to the ship. In other words, you had your ship complement of you are from the USS Constellation. Then, like myself, I was an Airedale. I was attached to it from VA 147, known as the Argonauts. And for those that know airplanes, it was A7 that was our that bombed and everything.
But yeah, you were on the Constellation, but you were not actually a crew member of the Constellation.
Correct. I was attached.
You were attached to it.
And a lot of these, you walk down I'll call them corridors for the layman. You have the layman. You would walk down the corridors, and you would see little doorways where each attachment was there from different. It was all different kind of planes.
Right.
Also, you go by one, and there's a damn ice cream machine. Now, the USS government doesn't do ice cream machines. They brought their own on. They brought their own, and they would get it shipped in the ice cream mix and everything, soft ice cream. Again, you're in a city, quote unquote.
Right, of course.
And the money they got from that was their party money when they went on shore.
When they went on shore, and they would sell the ice cream to other people on the ship that didn't have the opportunity to have an ice cream machine.
Oh yeah. I was basically the only Italian chef.
Right.
And when I worked nights, 7 to 7, the night shift would finish off at 7 o'clock at night. They would come in, the food is done, and we come in, we clean up and everything. And then from about 8 o'clock on, we start baking for the next day. All the rolls and the little two-handed roll.
Right, of course.
Look like Karate Kid. Easy on, easy off.
Wax on, wax off.
Right.
Yeah.
But you roll them and you put them on all the trays. And every once in a while, I look at everybody and said, pizza night. Again, I'm the only Italian there.
Right.
So the dough would get sliced and put aside, and they already knew what sizes I needed. Mm-hmm. We had, believe it or not, round pizza plates that go in the oven.
Pans, right.
Pizza pans. Why? I don't know, because nobody else made pizza but me at night. And then all of a sudden, we made all the extras, and I said, okay, we made all the dough and everything for the crew, and we had a little extra left over. Okay, pizza. Boom. They came out. They're all rolled. They put them on it. Where's the sauce? Sauce came out magically from who knows where. I don't care. We put our seasoning in. I put my extra little oregano, a little of this, a little
cheese.
Oil. Then mozzarella on top of that. Then all of a sudden, on an aircraft carrier, real pepperoni on the sticks.
You don't know how it showed up.
No, I don't ask. I just need it. It's here. Sing, 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 sing. The only thing it was cooked in electric ovens because we didn't have the thing.
How long before the captain or the XO found out?
Oh no! I took care of everybody. That's the
captain, the XO. They all got food.
Oh yeah, if they wanted, they got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because as long as you make the captain and the XO happy.
Yeah, if it ever reached them. I took care of all the air wings, all the people in the air wing. I took care of the 7-Eleven guy.
Right.
So back then we had Polaroid cameras.
He take care of you.
He took care of me. I want to take pictures.
So you basically were like the Robert De Niro character in The Godfather 2, where he, as a young man, he goes, I'll speak to the landlord on your behalf. But when I do this favor for you,
don't forget.
You don't forget that I did this for you. And someday, maybe never, but someday I may come to you and ask for a favor in return.
Oh, yeah. That's one hand washes the other. So it was, of course, I walked into our personnel for and then I put other places. And you walk in there, it's like gold in your hand. Right. Gold.
Well, yeah, you're carrying pizza on an aircraft carrier. That's gold.
That's gold. And of course, all the guys making it wanted one for their group. I said, that's fine, And of course, I got one and I ate it.
Certainly.
And off it went. But also at night, they used the bakery. There was a full bakery.
Oh, yes.
Cakes, everything.
Now, you weren't in the bakery. You were in the kitchen.
But.
You teach them how to make tiramisu in the bakery?
No. But I used to go to the bakery, and they had
no cannoli, nothing.
No, nothing like that. No cannolis on ship. No, I did make lasagna for one of the meals.
Oh, did you do it the right way?
Yeah. Oh, I
made the old noodles and everything.
I had the assembly line going, and then there was big grins on there. Oh yeah.
My fiance goes, "How do you make lasagna? You make lasagna, right?" I go, "No." She goes, "What do you mean you don't make lasagna? I thought all of you made lasagna." I go, "No, because it's a pain in the neck to make lasagna." Yeah. I go, but and I will tell this to everybody, and I don't care.
You don't care.
I go buy the frozen lasagna in the grocery store, or I go to a restaurant and get it takeout. I do not make lasagna.
I'll make lasagna. I make lasagna
You probably still have a pasta maker, though, don't you?
No.
You gave that up. At least you let somebody else make the pasta.
I get it out of the box and do that.
Because making the pasta is really the biggest pain in the neck of the whole thing.
Well, I've got a table, an enamel table that's about 2 foot by 3 foot,
so
or maybe 4.
So you could make the pasta if you wanted to.
My grandmother made it on that table.
Ugh. And you helped her?
No.
You never helped her?
No, that was before my time.
Yeah.
Before my time, yeah. When I was a kid, she was already beyond making pasta and everything, yeah.
She had gotten to the age where she was getting it out of the box, too.
Well, she didn't cook anymore at the end. So, but getting back to the cooking, it was amazing. So I got the crescent rolls they made, with the X on the top. Well, I would walk into the bakery, and I look at them, and they look at me, and I says, Erwin, going to take one. They just nodded. And, about 3 foot by 2 foot tray.
Probably 48, 60 croissants on
Exactly. I would get them, and then I know in the ready room, the ready room is where all the pilots usually gather to see who they're going to bomb and everything.
Right.
But at night, if we weren't bombing, that's where they watch the movie.
Right.
So I walk in with the tray, and I stop to the first pilot right at the end. I said, here you go. He just looked at me, eyes got nice and big. He thanked me, and then I just watched the tray go up and down the rows, and by the time it got back to me, it was empty.
Right.
But I had enough for everybody every time, and they took care of me.
You didn't have a hard life on board ship, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
No, not with the other people around you, though.
Oh
you
yeah.
You had the same situations that everybody had to deal with on the boat.
Yeah.
But you still got taken care of because you took care of people.
Oh, I took care of a lot of people, but I went to Exo's Mass. I had Exo's Mass.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
What would you do wrong to go to Exo?
That's not for on-air consumption.
I would figure that you've been to more than one Exo Mass.
No, just one. The one was enough. I was always green around the. I mean, we were on 40 days, not even 40 days out at sea.
Had anything to do with your radio show?
No, nothing at all. That was good. That was all good. But I'll tell you what, it was one of the better things because I was isolated, working in the kitchen, and then going on the radio every night or every day, depending what my hours. But the good thing about it was because it happened, I got to meet the rest of the ship.
Right.
Because part of the extra military instruction that you had to do,
yeah,
you went through different departments on ship. And because you went to different departments, you got to learn all the different.
Wrong button.
I heard that, yes. It hurt my ear. Had to learn all that you learned, but you didn't do all I went to the photography. I went to the laundry.
Because you watched it because you were there. You picked up some of what they were doing.
But I found out little things that I didn't even know was on an aircraft carrier. Did you know that? They call it the superstructure in the middle of the ship,
right,
way up. That's where the captain drives the ship and everything. He has his own. They call it a ladder. We call it stairs, but they're circular. They come straight down. He has his own, just from him, straight down in an emergency. He can fly right down all the way, 13 stories. Zoom, he's down, gone. So if anything happened, he was down in seconds.
How can he do that? Like a pole, like a fire pole or something?
Just the way it was made.
Oh.
It was all, but I had to polish all the brass railing and everything.
Right.
It goes up, and that took a long time.
Yeah, because those things are 12, 13, 14 stories high.
About 13 high.
Yeah.
But the brass it's all slick and everything. So you put a pair of gloves on, you
fly down it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So that was his and his alone.
Nobody else allowed on that.
Nobody.
Staircase.
But I was there. I got to see it.
Right.
So and again, you see different parts of the ship that everybody didn't get to see, which was good.
When was the Constellation commissioned? Do you remember?
No. I do. It was.
Was it a World
60s.
War II boat, or was it made after World War? Was it a nuclear sub?
No, it was the last
diesel sub.
Last diesel. The USS Enterprise was the first. Yeah.
So, because my dad was attached to the USS Saratoga.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which they took out of commission, and is it still? I think it may still be at Mayport,
sitting maybe. Yeah,
as a museum now, because it was in Mayport for the longest time, in Mayport, in Jacksonville. But my dad was attached to the Saratoga, and the Saratoga was a wonderful boat from World War II.
When was the USS Constellation commissioned?
Oh, we're about to find out right here.
USS Constellation, CB-64, launched on the 8th of October, 1960.
Oh, the 8th of October, 1960.
Yeah.
So that was launched less than a month after my sister was born.
There you go.
There you go. But you were on the Constellation.
The construction started September 14th, 1957. I thought it was in the 60s. I was 60.
So it took them 3 years to build the Constellation.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to the shipyards where they build those?
No, where are they?
Well, there's a shipyards up in Massachusetts where they build ships. There's a shipyard around New York where they build ships. And I've never seen an aircraft carrier done, but I've seen frigates get launched. If you see how they put them in the water.
And you think they're going to float right over.
Oh, because when they put them in, they list real bad to one side and the other because they're rocking back and forth.
Yeah, but they don't go anywhere.
And they're throwing the water in that canal where they.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just flooding the place.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing to watch.
I do not know where. Well, I was on the West Pac, which means the West Coast.
Right.
So that's. But where they made them, I never.
Yeah, you know. You know a big place that makes a lot of cruise ships.
Italy
is Ireland.
Ireland,
Belfast, Ireland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The most famous cruise ship, because of how its maiden voyage ended.
Yeah, the Titanic
was built in Belfast.
Oh, that's not. Oh, you heard about the new one?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he wants. Would you go on that cruise?
Not for that much money.
The maiden. Well, I'm going on the Titanic. You fool.
And not for that money.
And they're going through the same route.
Same route with the same size boat.
Yeah. It wasn't the boat. It was the navigation.
Right. Yes. Of course. But they hit icebergs that they didn't think would hurt the steel.
Oh yeah, sure. Wire. Yeah, they're about as bright as a burnt out light bulb.
Have you ever seen the picture though? Have you ever seen a picture of the cruise ship, the Titanic? April 15th, 1912 was when it went down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see it, at the time it was the largest luxury liner that there was.
How many stacks? 3 or 4?
3.
3, okay.
When you see that boat, have you seen it superimposed on a cruise ship of today?
No.
It looks like the difference between a 100-foot boat and a 16-foot dinghy.
Which one is bigger?
The ones today, by a bunch.
Okay, all right. That's what I was going to ask. Which
one? Google it right now. Go do Titanic versus.
Oh, that's okay.
Cruise. The picture is amazing because the Titanic literally barely breaks the waterline of the other boat. That's how much difference there is.
Wow.
And the Titanic, I think the Titanic with crew and everything was about 1,100 people.
Oh, okay. So
and
I wonder
major cruise ships,
how big
crew
is the
and everything.
The new one's going to be the same size?
Yeah, my understanding is it's going to be a replica.
Why?
I don't know.
They got money.
But the cruise ships today with crew and everything have 8,000-9,000 people on them.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. I'm
not a big cruise guy.
You ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I've been on a couple.
Yeah.
I've been on a 5-day and a 3-day. Okay. A boat, even though these boats are massive, when it's the only thing you got to do, they get small quick.
It depends on what you. Last time if you're a party animal, yeah. But if you're not a party animal,
that's like the casino in Hollywood. Everybody talks about how big the Seminole Hard Rock is in Hollywood.
It's not that big.
But if you're there for a week and it's the only thing you're doing, it's not really that big. You run out of things.
You run out of.
Yeah. Like in Vegas, there's casinos as far as the eye can see. There's something to do a lot. You go to one of these casinos around here, it's the only thing there. You run out of things to do pretty quick. That's like a cruise ship. Especially, and the Disney cruises, because that's the one that I went on.
Yeah.
They're fantastic for the first day because they're a smaller boat.
Well, yeah. With Italy, they were built in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. What really intrigued me was 2 shipyards were building it, 2 different halves.
Right.
And then they
bring it together.
But that got me was the engineering was so great, it was perfect fit.
Yeah.
They didn't have to maneuver. But
it was like left Twix and right Twix.
Yeah. But it's amazing how what would get me is the water, the buoyancy of one to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be exact. I'm going, holy moly.
Same guys make mobile homes.
I was thinking the same thing. Modulars.
Yeah, same guy makes modular homes.
Yeah, modular. It is.
We make ships and we make modular homes.
Did you ever see a modular home before it was finished?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I did the tour of the, what's the place right here? Yeah, Clayton Builders. Is that the one right here?
I don't know.
What's the one? There's one right here.
Prestige?
By MTI and everything. There's a
I can't remember.
I've taken that too. I've taken the Eagle tour too, out there by E1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've taken that tour too.
I'm
see them how they're the ribs of them and everything, and how they put them together.
That I've watched, but what really amazed me, was when they put the sides together. They had these two gigantic. What would you call them?
I don't know. You're telling me.
I'm telling the story. Yeah, two gigantic clips.
Right.
That clip into it's the electrical.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And boom. So one side has electric, the other side. So that's got to be, it's like, and they lock them in.
That's got to be exact too.
Oh well, that's just clips with the wire. But it's just how. Because you always think, how do they get the electric from one side to the other? It's just they plug into each other, they lock it in, and it's in the ceiling. You never see it.
Yeah, it's an extension cord,
basically. Except it's all covered and everything.
But people go, really, an extension cord? Look, folks, do you know our entire electrical grid is really just extension cords?
Yeah, I guess.
All these power lines.
No, sure.
They're just extension cords.
Fancy ones, though.
They will shock you. They don't have, plastic covering, insulation on them.
Insulation, right.
But that's all they are. They go from a substation to your house to a series of extension cords.
Oh, yeah. Just because they're 15,000 volts doesn't mean anything.
That's what always made me laugh when I would do Carousel of Progress. Remember when they got electricity in the house, they'd have like
the fan and all the
14 extension cords plugged into one wall outlet.
Did you know
he'd blow the fuse, the whole neighborhood would go out?
Did you know that any appliance and everything, you could work on it? We don't have to be licensed. The only licensed electrician is for the wire in the wall. Anything you plug in is under UL.
Underwriters Laboratory
jurisdiction, where they put their stamp of approval. But I can open a shop tomorrow and fix appliances, and I don't need a license. Isn't that something?
If you started fixing appliances,
you'd be all right. I used to be an electrician, so years ago. So
but I would, as long as you're not trying to fix the microphone just shot me. Did you do that?
It depends. Tom said the wrong thing. Yes.
Tom, look, you didn't hear us say anything bad about you.
That's because I was outside it, and I was between the car and in here. So
No, we spoke highly of the Ocala business leaders.
I heard that.
Even though you're a part of it.
I heard that. Yes, I heard that. Yes. The Ocala business leaders is a good group. It's the difference between that and a lot of other groups, and I've been in a lot of groups, BNI and all of them. It's like a family.
Yes.
So it's not all huffy and we have breakfast.
Stuffy.
Stuffy is a word, yeah, okay. We have breakfast. We say a prayer before the meeting. We do a Pledge of Allegiance before the meeting. We harass each other. We have fun with it, too. Now, this is 7 in the morning, you got to remember.
Yeah, it's early.
It's early. So, at 6:30, we start eating breakfast, and then 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, we have our meetings. And with that said, you wake up, and we have a thing called a thought of the day. And some are comical, and some are very serious. And if they're really serious, they all say, it's a little deep for this morning.
I can see you. Yours are probably the serious ones, too.
I do have both.
Knowing you're the serious guy.
I do have both. My last one was when you meet somebody and you really want to know them, when you talk to them, look them in the eye. Never mind what they're wearing, what they look like from the neck down, look them in the eye.
Okay, we got to go. WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Homeless activists with a group called Ole Housing took over the Red Lion Hotel in downtown Olympia, Washington, after booking 17 rooms and opening them up to the homeless in the area. The group had demanded that Thurston County continue to pay for the rooms with Federal Emergency Management Agency funding. 7 people were taken into custody on Sunday when law enforcement rushed in. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken condemned reports that the Burmese military took control of Myanmar and detained senior leaders. The Biden administration has called for the military to reverse these actions immediately. Myanmar suffered 5 decades of military rule and international isolation that began in 1962 and was heading toward democracy since 2011. A group of GOP senators will meet with President Biden on Monday after pitching their own coronavirus relief framework. They said, "We appreciate the president's quick response to our letter, and we are pleased to accept his invitation to the White House." End quote. USA Radio News.
It's totally normal to be constipated with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way. You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives to help relieve belly pain and let you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor today. You may be able to save on Linzess and make fewer trips to the pharmacy. See if you're eligible to pay as little as $30 for 90 days. Visit linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Let's get a stimulus package update with USA Radio News' Jeremy Scott.
How to harvest rose hips. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders. Support us at 4h.org.
Whether at your local green market, corner grocery store, or neighborhood restaurant, you're supporting your community when you buy local.
Food grown right here by Florida farmers doesn't need to be shipped this far.
That saves fuel and cuts emissions.
Buying local is more than just supporting area businesses and growers.
It's buying fresh, wholesome, and delicious food for your family.
Products you trust from people you trust.
Fresh from Florida.
Good for the environment.
Good for the economy.
Good for you.
Rose hips generally appear between late summer and late autumn, depending on where you're located. Try to gather them after the first frost. Freezing temperatures break down the fruit's cellular walls, which makes rose hips sweeter and juicier. If you live in a place that only gets mild winters, pick when they look full, ripe, and healthy. Rose hips can be stored in the freezer for up to 6 months. Freezing them will retain medicinal properties and also preserves their flavor. They don't taste like roses, but instead have a bright yet earthy taste somewhere between flowers and citrus. Although these can be dried whole, they dry more quickly and thoroughly if you have them. Additionally, cutting them in half means that you can see whether they've dried out completely or not. All it takes is one moldy rose hip to spoil an entire batch that it's stored with. You can either dry rose hips in the sunshine or, better yet, by using a food dehydrator. Once they're dry, transfer them into a clean glass jar with a lid. Store this in a cupboard, out of direct sunlight, and use as needed. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Noticeably cooler weather on the way today and tomorrow. We'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine today, breezy this afternoon with a high of 59 to 70. Then partly cloudy and chilly tonight, low 43 to 46. Tuesday and Wednesday both will be mostly sunny and cool. High on Tuesday, 54 to 61. High on Wednesday, 61 to 67. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it. but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
I just don't understand the good luck. I just don't. I don't understand.
And good luck to you, too.
Hey, Joe Martone, Tom Schmitz here with you. It's Ocala Talks. Joe, you remember Whitney Houston singing the national anthem in the Super Bowl? You know, it's Super Bowl week. I know you don't know a lot about sports. But
I like the commercial.
But you know Super Bowl. You know what the Super Bowl is.
That used to be the only game I would sit down with a couple of beers and a pizza.
And actually watch the game.
And actually watch the whole game, that's the only thing. But...
Well, you remember 30-some-odd years ago, Whitney Houston performed the national anthem right after Desert Storm had happened in 1990. She
anyway.
Well, it's an iconic moment in Super Bowl history.
Okay.
Where she sang the national anthem.
I thought the other one was with Jackson getting woo-woo, you know.
Well, that's being talked about this year, too. The wardrobe malfunction was 15 years ago.
My butt malfunction.
It wasn't a malfunction. He purposely ripped it off. But anyway, Whitney Houston, when you think about iconic moments in the Super Bowl for the national anthem, the 1991 Super Bowl is one people immediately think of.
Okay.
You know, it almost didn't happen.
Why?
They had taped it, and there were some people in the NFL, they had taped the rehearsal and went to show it to them. Some people in the NFL thought it wasn't appropriate.
Why?
They thought that to aggrandize it, because there was some liberties taken with the national anthem in that song. To aggrandize it was not a good thing. There were even people who literally thought the Super Bowl shouldn't be played that year, because there were people in the NFL. The Gulf War Operation Desert Storm had begun 10 days earlier. We're not talking about it had been going on a while. 10 days earlier.
Right.
So there were some who even questioned the appropriateness of playing the game with Americans in harm's way, that was much more important than playing a Super Bowl.
Now look at the NFL.
Well, George Herbert Walker Bush said, no, the game's going on. We have to show that we're Americans, and even though we're at war right now, it doesn't disrupt the American ideals and how we do things in our country as a beacon of what democracy is. The NFL was leery about doing anything that might be disrespectful of American troops. And they were worried about, remember, the summer before, 6 months before, Roseanne Barr had made a farce of the national anthem by spitting and grabbing her crotch and screaming the national anthem at a San Diego Padres game.
And that was supposed to be funny. No,
right, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. No.
Right, it didn't come off. Well, that's what they were worried about, that Whitney Houston, people wouldn't want to see a star, do this national anthem. There were some people that said we just ought to get somebody from the Marine Corps or somebody from the Navy or something to sing it.
Oh, they do have good singers, that's for sure.
Of course they do. But, why aggrandize it with this star and everything? But, as you know, it all came out pretty well. She had it arranged by, well, his name's escaping me now.
Well, an arranger. Go ahead.
Ricky Minor. Okay. Ricky Minor arranged it, and he arranged it with jazz and gospel chords and gave it a gospel cadence instead of the regular cadence. So it was actually in a 3-2 cadence, 3-2-1 instead of 4-3-2-1. And so it was arranged differently.
Yeah.
But now it's thought of as iconic, but it just shows you how the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't know what really may be happening. Yeah. Whitney Houston, iconic national anthem at the 1991 Super Bowl, where the New York Giants beat the Buffalo Bills wide right. Scott Norwood missed a kick. And Rick Tootin, Ocala's own Rick Tootin, was the punter for the Buffalo Bills during that Super Bowl. Rick tragically died of a heart attack a couple 3 years ago while he was on vacation. But Rick, good guy, one of my buddies. But he was part of that Super Bowl, that Buffalo Bills team. Well, one of the 4 in a row that Buffalo went to the Super Bowl. But just to think that national anthem almost didn't happen because people were worried about how it would play, given that we had just started Desert Storm 10 days earlier.
Well, that was before everybody got offended.
But Desert Storm, I had good friends of mine that were.
What was it called before Desert Storm? There was another name for it before Desert Storm.
Before the war, actually, it was Desert Shield.
Desert Shield.
It was Desert Shield before we actually, when we were sending people over to be consultants and all.
Just like Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it was Desert Storm, and I had very good friends of mine. A friend of mine, Casey, who was a staff sergeant with 24th Mechanized out of Hinesville, which is now the 4th Infantry, but it was 24th Mechanized then before they changed designation. My buddy Shaky, Tommy, a bunch of those guys, because Hinesville was right near Statesboro, where I went to college.
Yes.
And so Fort Stewart was 25 miles from the college town. So
we're in Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia. Fort Stewart, Georgia. Yeah.
Where's Fort Stewart?
Hinesville, Georgia.
What road is near it?
Highway 80.
80.
Goes right up through Jessup and up through Hinesville into
I drove right by there
into
then.
Pembroke and then into Statesboro.
I didn't realize it was there.
But so my buddies and all, they all went over there. And one of my buddies, Shaky, and we called him Shaky because he was shaking.
Either that or he was a bartender.
He got some accommodation. I forget exactly, Gold Star or something. Anyway, because he captured 250 of the Army of Iraq. He captured 250 of them by himself. True story. He had went over a sand dune to relieve himself so nobody could see him.
And
he went over the sand dune. 250 Iraqi forces come over with their hands up, their guns raised up above their heads, their hands up, saying, "Hungry, hungry." And so he captured 250 military because they really were just hungry and wanted food. They were taken in by the Americans and fed and everything. He got a special accommodation because he had captured 250.
Because he had to go relieve his
Because he had to go relieve himself. Hi, caller. Who's this? Hello, caller.
You're live on the air.
Yes. Ocala played a part in Desert Storm. We had the Mars station here for phone patching calls back to the United States. I was one of the volunteers on the Mars station. We ran 24 hours in those days, and we would phone patch calls back to the States from Saudi Arabia and foxholes and all kinds of places.
Oh, that Mars thing you're talking about, Jim, that's been around for decades until
I was there. I was.
Well, that happened during Vietnam too, also, and it was like, wow.
Yes. In fact, our club was part of the Vietnam phone patching also, yes.
Yeah, I remember that from the Philippines,
to Florida, but...
No. Hey,
Thanks
Jim,
for the call, Jim.
Thank you for what you've done.
All right, have a good day.
You never know what our listeners do,
right?
Until they open up.
I wasn't aware of what the Mars was, but I guess that's how the ham radio patched.
It was basically a ham radio.
Yeah.
And I never took advantage of it because we used to, Galen can attest to this, we used to go to Subic Bay. That was one of our stops. That was one of the regular stops to unwind, quote unquote, after bombing the heck out of them. And on the base, they had a Mars right there. But I never availed myself. And I don't know why I didn't. I don't know what's happening. So.
But yeah, getting back to Desert Storm, my buddies were over there. It's amazing how the U.S. military does it. I was not aware until I met these guys and got a little insight. I was not aware of how well we fight wars and how
efficient,
how they trained on Bradleys at Fort Stewart.
Okay.
And a Bradley's a small version of an Abrams tank. It's a smaller version. It can do some damage, but it's not like a tank, but it's close.
It's more agile.
Right. Lot faster.
Yeah.
So they trained on these things. They trained. They got them all over Hinesville and everything. I thought when they shipped out, they would ship out all their Bradleys too.
No,
those Bradleys stayed in Hinesville. Yeah. They had brand new Bradleys that had been dropped into Saudi Arabia that was waiting on them when they got there.
Waiting on them. Okay.
They just get off the transports and step right into brand new equipment, or new to them anyway.
Yeah, new to them.
And I was amazed. I thought logistically you got to get all the
how can they train the next group if they're shipped over there?
See, once again, you expect me to use my brain.
Oh, sorry about that. Now, I was here in Florida here, and I got the privilege to talk to someone that sells tents. He sells tents. No, he sells tents to the government.
Right.
I say, what? You know those big gray or tan tents that you see out there.
Right, yeah.
Well, they only last so long, then they have to be replaced.
Well, yeah, because they're made of cloth and everything, canvas, and they tear.
They can't. Well, they get destroyed by being.
The sun tears them apart.
Or they move them, break them down, put them up.
Yeah.
So this guy's a multimillionaire.
Is his name Omar?
I'm not telling you who his name is on the air.
Because that's who makes my clothes.
Omar the tent maker. boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But this gentleman, I stood there in amazement because his dad started it, and then his son took over, and his dad took over something else.
Right here in this area?
Right here in this area. Now, the tents aren't made here. It's in Georgia. I think they're made in Georgia. But I happened to meet the son here. And I'm going, it was one of the events that happened in Ocala. I'm going, really? You would never, the tents have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
But this is his whole business, selling to the government these tents and then replenishing them. And these tents are 20 by 40 or 40 by 40 or 40 by 50.
Right, because that's what they use for chow halls and everything.
Everything. And if you ever get an aerial picture, you see all these tents out there.
Command centers, everything's in these tents.
Right. And then they break them down. Years ago, the movie. Yeah, it was the movie also. MASH 4077.
Yeah.
That's what there it is. Mobile operating, blah, blah, blah.
It's Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
Mobile Army Surgical. MASH?
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
I thought it was, okay, that's cool. Thank you.
And they would have to bug out.
Yeah, when they bug out, yeah. And then they break them all down, put them back up.
Right.
And, and what got me is this is a movie crew doing it, breaking them all down, moving them back.
But eventually, those poles get put in the wrong area. They go through the canvas accidentally or something.
Oh, sure.
So you're right. They would have to be replaced on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. They're coming in. They just keep, and there's to this day, because you're not going to build a building out in no man's land. You'll put a tent up.
It's amazing some of the things that when I think about the people or the things that are right here in Ocala, like the family that is the family of Notice for the Campbell Soup Company.
Oh, yeah.
Live right here in Ocala.
Yeah, he does.
Him and his mom both.
Yeah.
And you'd think Campbell Soup, they live right here in Ocala.
Yeah, why?
Abco Trucking, which is the largest trucking company, the largest refrigeration trucking company in the country.
Yeah.
The people that own it live right here in Ocala.
There's a lot of little, they're stuck in the corners.
One of the 8 guys, there were 8 guys back in the late 50s that when television was in its infancy, just knew that sports would be a big deal on TV. Yeah. And everybody else thought nobody was sports on TV. You got to go watch the game. Nobody's going to sit in their living room and watch a sporting event because part of the lure of it is going to the game.
Right.
These 8 guys were like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's going to be a big deal. And they came up with a little show called ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well,
one of those 8 guys started that venture.
Yeah.
Lives right here in Ocala.
Yeah. Why did you get him on the air? We'll talk about it.
Because you could never get him to hush once he got going.
So what?
Between him and I, the show would last 12 hours.
Well, that'd be something different.
You know him though. You met him.
Have I?
Yep.
We'll talk later who he is.
Good guy.
Yeah.
And he helped start ABC's Wide World of Sports, which ushered in sports on television.
But there's a lot of little nuances that happen that are locally here that are happening, or other places like ESPN started in Connecticut. Who would think 24 hours cable of sports? Come on.
Yeah.
No way.
Nobody. And by the way, when you go back and you watch 1979 sports, you go back and YouTube 1979 ESPN and watch what they were broadcasting. They were broadcasting Sports Center, poker, lumberjack competitions, AWA professional wrestling,
and smoking while they're doing it,
and Australian rules football, where the guys came out in meat packing jackets and did scores and everything.
Whatever.
Whatever. But
back then they used to smoke.
Right. They had to fill 24 hours of sports. Just like the best thing that ever happened to the 24-hour news channel so that they could make news was they went away from making news and started doing opinions and agendas because of the O.J. Simpson trial.
That was
up until then, 24-hour news cycles were hard to fill.
Well, I think that was the longest. We're going to follow that Bronco on the road, and here it goes. Yes, it's still going.
ABC broke into the NBA Finals and two boxed the Bronco chase and the NBA Finals.
Okay. Yeah, that was important.
That's how important that was.
But that was ridiculous. He's driving down the road and a line of police cars behind him
at 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, why didn't he just go in front and stop him?
Well, they thought he was going to shoot himself. They said, and they didn't want to see a hero of so many commit suicide live on television.
Yeah. Did he get out of prison yet or not?
Oh yeah, OJ's out.
He's out.
OJ never faced prison time for the murder, the alleged murder of his wife and a friend of hers.
Well, why did he go to jail then?
Strong arm robbery. In Vegas.
That was the Vegas one. That dumb. Yeah, he was out. That's right. Yeah,
he was.
You stole this from me, and it's mine. Right. Blah blah blah.
And he went in and kicked the door open with two guys with guns, and so and the judge in Las Vegas, she could say she didn't do that, but she sentenced him to the sentence she gave him to, because she was making up for what she alleged he did in California. She can say she wasn't doing that, but she was.
Well, yeah, they were watching him the misstep. That's for sure.
Although I've done a lot of research into the whole O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson murder case and everything, and I'm in the conclusion that O.J. did not commit those murders.
We'll talk about that another time.
I know O.J. was there. O.J. walked through the crime scene. But what a lot of people don't know, and if you read Christopher Darden's book, who was the prosecuting attorney who made the biggest buffoon move ever,
the gloves,
by saying you must put the gloves on.
Yeah.
And then he put the gloves on with rubber gloves underneath them and everything. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. You know, one of the most prolific lines in courtroom history. And Christopher Darden was the moron that said put the gloves. Although Martha was like, no, don't put you can't. They did it anyway.
And it didn't fit.
Chris Darden wrote a book. Little known fact until you read Chris Darden's book is O.J. Simpson's son was picked up by the Fort Lauderdale police the day after the murder in Fort Lauderdale, where he had just rented a boat, paid cash to rent a boat to go. And O.J. had a ticket. He flew from L.A. to Chicago, and then he was flying from Chicago to Fort Lauderdale, and he was supposed to meet his son. That's why O.J. gave himself up and everything, because O.J. knows he didn't commit the crime. They knew a big man had been seen running back on the property and everything. O.J.'s son, 6'2", 220 pounds. O.J.'s son hated Nicole Brown Simpson. It's his son from his first marriage.
Oh.
Hated Nicole. And Nicole would,
But he's still walking free.
The Mercedes that O.J. gave her, she would let other guys drive it around town and all. I'm a firm believer O.J.'s son had something to do with the murder.
Yeah, but
it's just my opinion.
Yeah. Where's O.J. living now? In Florida?
Florida. Yep.
He does live in Florida?
Yeah. Got a place in Vegas, too.
Oh, he still has a lot of money.
Yeah, well, because they can't touch one thing.
What?
Even though he owes the Goldmans all this money for the wrongful death suit and everything, and any kind of book sales he gets, they get all that money.
Yeah.
Any kind of things he does on TV or anything, they get that money until they get $35 million. There's one thing they cannot touch because of how the laws in the United States are.
What?
You cannot touch a man's retirement pension.
So he got a pension?
So they can't touch O.J.'s NFL retirement.
Is that a lot of money?
About $3.5 million a year.
He got that much?
Yeah, well, O.J.
For doing nothing?
O.J. was a big star.
He was, yeah, I remember that.
And
Airplane, was it Airplane 1 or 2, whatever?
No, it was never Airplane.
What was it?
It was Police Story.
Oh, Police Story, that's it. Yeah, sorry.
From the files of Police Story, 33 and a half and all that with Leslie Nielsen. Although Leslie Nielsen was in Airplane, so I see how you made the connection.
Yeah.
Because Leslie Nielsen was a doctor in Airplane. To me, Leslie Nielsen had one of the greatest lines ever in cinematic history, and it was in Airplane.
What is it?
When he walks in and tells Robert Culp, he goes, "We got a lot of sick people on the plane. We need to get them to a hospital." And the guy goes, "A hospital? What is it?" He goes, Leslie Nielsen goes, "It's a big white building with patients, but that's not important right now."
That's right. Big white building with patients.
Because we all understood that he went, a hospital, what is it? Meaning, what are they sick from?
Yeah, right.
We knew that's what he meant.
That's how it
Leslie
worked.
Nielsen goes, "Well, it's a big white building with patients, but that's not important right now."
If you go back into his history of being an actor, he was a serious actor.
And played a heavy in a lot of movies, played bad guys in a lot of movies.
But in his old golden years, He just went with it, and it was funny
hilarious.
as all heck.
When he did Airplane, they realized he could be funny, too, and then he started doing the naked guns and everything, and that was the naked gun 33
The best writing was for a straight face. If you do it straight face, it's like...
And he could do it straight.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. I mean,
George Kennedy again. No.
Yeah, it was... but you know what else made that movie Airplane so funny was Lloyd Bridges. Because Lloyd Bridges...
What a time to quit smoking. What a time to stop cocaine. Yeah.
Here the man was that was a serious actor.
Oh, yes.
He had been on Sea Hunt, which was filmed right here at Silver Springs.
Yeah.
You know, Lloyd Bridges was an accomplished actor. And then to be the guy that's losing his mind on Airplane. Guess I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing model glue.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was one of those one-liner zinger movies. And you know what's one of the funniest parts of that movie?
What?
The opening credits. But you have to listen to what the airport overhead speaker, the PA speakers are saying. Yeah. You have to listen to the guy and the girl.
I have to.
The yellow line is for loading and unloading of passengers only. The white line is for pickup of passengers. And then the other, no, it's the other way. And he goes, look, the only way you're saying this is because I think you should get an abortion. And she goes, I don't want an abortion. I want my children. Well, you know, it is the only smart thing to do. That's the conversation they're having.
Over the loudspeaker.
Over the loudspeaker in the airport.
Meanwhile, the credits are running.
Because the movie's just starting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of things. The fact that Barbara Billingsley talks jive.
Oh, I like that.
Beaver Cleaver's mom is talking jive.
Yes. That was.
Or the nun that sings "Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me." She's cut the IV off to the little girl that's in the hospital.
Yeah. You can go on and on and on.
Another one is, Mark, what do you think of the storm? Well, the storm's getting bigger, and Leon's getting larger. He shakes the guy's belly. What can you make of this? Hands him a map. He goes, well, I can make a hat, a brooch,
it's like, and go on and on and on.
It's just a funny. If you've never seen Airplane, that's a you problem, not a Joe and I problem.
No. Or Airplane 2.
Airplane 2 was okay, but not as funny.
Well, because you already were conditioned to it.
Right.
Yeah,
although,
some sequels are better.
What's the greatest movie ever about golf?
It was about the caddy.
Caddyshack.
Oh, you mean a comedy? Okay.
No, what's the greatest movie about golf? Caddyshack. Legend of Basker Vance is not the greatest movie about golf.
That's the one. Who started that?
Will Smith and Matt Damon. It was filmed in Savannah, Georgia. My buddy Chris was the stand-in for Matt Damon. That all the golf swings you see and all
that's him doing it.
It's my buddy Chris doing those golf swings. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But Caddyshack, greatest movie ever about golf.
Oh.
You know what the worst movie about golf is?
Tell me, Tin?
Caddyshack 2.
There was a Caddyshack 2?
Oh, it's horrible.
I didn't see it.
Jackie Mason took over as the Rodney Dangerfield character.
Well, Rodney had died, right?
No, Rodney was still alive. They just did a different take. It wasn't the same rich guy.
Oh, okay. The famous scene in the golf shop. Hey, oh, that's an ugly hat. Oh, it looks good on you, though.
He goes. I'll take a dozen of those naked lady balls, a bag of those tees, and oh God, what is this? This is the worst hat I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What do you get a free bowl of soup when you buy this hat?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
looks good on you though.
Yeah, hey, looks good on you. No problem.
Yeah. Rodney Dangerfield. You know, Ted Knight didn't want to be in that movie with Rodney Dangerfield because he thought Rodney Dangerfield was a hack and it wasn't. He wouldn't take it serious.
Rodney was very instrumental and very serious at what he was doing. He knew exactly.
He knew it, and Rodney was good. He was a good comedian.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hey, that tie looks good on you. As soon as it comes back in style.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ted Knight and Rodney Dangerfield didn't get along on that movie, and
they didn't.
No. And Chevy Chase and Bill Murray didn't get along.
No, I knew that. I didn't know. I knew about those two. I didn't know about the other two.
Yeah, they didn't get along.
We're getting a little cloud here, clouding up here at the Paddock Mall.
Well, it's supposed to be a little overcast, and it's good and colder. The high today,
61,
and that was at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, so it's a little
chilly. Going to be 32 tonight.
Oh, is it?
And tomorrow night. Oh, highs in only the 50s tomorrow.
Well, weather.
They got a nor'easter in New York City. 20 inches of snow they're expecting in New York City today. Nor'easter's no fun. You've lived through one or two of those.
Yeah, Connecticut. Oh yeah. And funny, when I moved to North Carolina back in the day, the year I think it was 82 or 83. Hey, I'm not gonna be so bad. 22 inches.
Yeah. That's why I left North Carolina. WOCA, the source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Homeless activists with a group called Ole Housing took over the Red Lion Hotel in downtown Olympia, Washington, after booking 17 rooms and opening them up to the homeless in the area. The group had demanded that Thurston County continue to pay for the rooms with Federal Emergency Management Agency funding. 7 people were taken into custody on Sunday when law enforcement rushed in. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken condemned reports that the Burmese military took control of Myanmar and detained senior leaders. The Biden administration has called for the military to reverse these actions immediately. Myanmar suffered 5 decades of military rule and international isolation that began in 1962 and was heading toward democracy since 2011. A group of GOP senators will meet with President Biden on Monday after pitching their own coronavirus relief framework. They said, "We appreciate the president's quick response to our letter, and we are pleased to accept his invitation to the White House." End quote. USA Radio News.
The stress levels of Americans may be at an all-time high. From education to business to basic needs to politics, the 2020 pandemic-related stressors are pushing many of us to near breaking point. That's why you should consider the stress and pain-relieving products from sunny-bay.com, like our lavender neck wraps and pads infused with premium Washington lavender buds. They relieve tension and relax with a soothing scent of lavender. And lifestyle expert Jennifer Bonner recommends products from Sunny Bay.
Sunny Bay's hands-free neck wrap should be your go-to pain relief solution.
Give gifts to family and friends that relieve stress and pain. Give love and care by giving the best. Give pillows, neck wraps, and body wraps from sunny-bay.com, a Biomed DB design company. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Uh-oh.
Is that what I thought it was?
As long as you don't think it was me running over a sprinkler head, then no, it wasn't.
Oh, brother.
Don't worry about it. I'll just add it to the honey-do list.
If you had signed up for Mike Scott Plumbing's irrigation package in the first place, you wouldn't have to do anything.
What? Mike Scott Plumbing does irrigation too?
Yeah. I told you they have packages where they take care of everything.
Yeah, but I broke it, so they're not going to cover that.
But with their annual irrigation maintenance plans, you never have to pay for another service charge or broken sprinkler head ever again, regardless of the fault.
So that means I break it, they fix it.
That's what I said, Mr. Genius.
Okay, you win. How do I sign up?
I thought you'd never ask. Call Mike Scott Plumbing today and ask about their irrigation maintenance plans. 237-2888. That's 237-2888.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 9:30 to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie thank you for another successful year and to wish you and yours a year ahead full of health, faith, and compassion. In addition to our pasture mowing, we also offer fence line spraying for weed control and rototilling for your winter gardens. We are family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
What you need is RoofMax. RoofMax is a revolutionary green roofing solution that can save you $10,000 or more by greatly extending the life of your existing roof. Here's how it works. Asphalt roof shingles have essential oils to keep them flexible and waterproof. Over time, this oil dries out, causing your roof to become brittle and slowly break apart. A RoofMax treatment saturates your roof with millions of microbeads, restoring flexibility and continued waterproof protection. It's like a skin moisturizer for asphalt shingles. RoofMax treatments are guaranteed for 5 years, and repeating treatments can extend your roof's life for up to 15 years for a fraction of the cost of replacement. RoofMax uses satellite measurement software to provide a hassle-free, contact-free price quote over the phone in under 5 minutes. No in-person house call required. Get your instant quote by calling 352